And welcome into Getting Help from Uncle Sam. Well, we're about 2 weeks away from the primary election. That's going to take place the first Tuesday in June. And over the past couple of months, we've done, as a service to our viewers, interviews with candidates for various offices. And today I have with me Mike Holmes, House of Representative, District number 31.
Yes.
Parts of Elmore County?
Most of Elmore County, actually, and that's in this new redistricting, I only have Elmore counties.
Is that right?
Yes.
So you're not going to know more of the other guys?
County is one of the fastest growing in the state, and so, you know, our magic number is 45,000 voters to make a district within 1%. And so we have to keep shrinking the geography to fit that 45,000 voters because it's growing so fast.
Well, that's great. Well,
it is.
You know, when you first ran for office, what was it, 4 years ago?
Yes.
My, the time flies, doesn't it?
It does.
It does. Well, you know, that's when you and I got to know each other. I think I'd gone to a forum, and they had different candidates there, and you know, and I'm one of these people. I do my study. I look to see who the candidates are, and I did study on you, and you know, it was very impressed with what you had to do at that point.
And I hope I asked for your vote when I met you.
Well, you sure did.
Since you live in the district.
Since I live in the district, and that was the reason that I went to it. And but initially, when you went in, you said, "Well, I'm going to do about 4 years. I don't want to be a career politician." But you and I had a serious conversation about the fact that this is not a job that you jump in and automatically you go off running. It takes a little bit of time and experience.
I had to learn that the hard way.
Yes.
There's a steep learning curve there, and you warned me about it. You're not going to go in there and be productive overnight, and you're right. I mean, it takes 1.5 years to some people 2.5 years to actually get to the point of be an effective representative.
So during this past 4 years, what have been some of the major accomplishments that you would say?
Oh, wow. I've had some people ask me what was my favorite and most unfavorite thing that happened there. One thing I guess I have to focus on is impeachment of Governor Bentley. I was one of the 23 that had the courage to step forward and sign that resolution in the House, which called for an investigation. And then, as fate would have it, I also served on the Judiciary Committee, so we were the committee that heard the evidence. And after a long deliberation, 90 days worth of investigation, looking at all the evidence, we came back with a decision almost unanimous from that committee that there was a just cause to go ahead with impeachment. So that high point, it was very troubling times for Alabama, so it's hard to call it a high point, but I guess matter of importance, I think it certainly filled that category. You know, another one is it started local, but actually wound up being statewide, was an effort to strengthen our restricted driver's license law. And we had one of our deputies and 4 teenagers, a head-on crash not 1.5 miles from my house on Fire Tower Road, killed 3 of the teenagers, killed the deputy. And it was all because they were violating the restricted driver's license law. They were out after midnight with 16-year-olds driving, high speeds on a county road. And so we felt like we could save lives if we could stiffen that up enough to discourage that even more. The way it was, there was no real penalty except they had to step back in their stages of this restricted driver's license to a learner's permit again, and so they had to step back for 6 months. Not much penalty. So we put in and the one that surprised me, that came an amendment from the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, offered an amendment to make that first arrest order to attend traffic court. And it happens on Saturday, which if you remember being a teenager, Saturdays are very important. You don't want to give up your Saturdays.
It's a holy day.
And it lasted about 8 hours, and it was a long, arduous task. This judge that gave us this suggestion, he'd been doing it for 3 years in his municipality, had never had a kid come back.
Wow.
After that, they never got arrested again. So that taught us a lesson. We made that amendment and got the bill passed, and that was a big day. The Deputy Bart Hart bill has to be one of the high points to really feel like you've done some good. Saving lives, but just as important, and maybe more important, teenage lives. Young kids, our future is there. We need to be saving those lives if we can. So yeah, that one was very, very pleasing to get that one done.
If you make it through this election, move on. What do you see as the future? What's the agenda we need to be looking at moving forward?
Well, it felt pretty easy this year in the budgeting process because we still had some one-time money left over from the BP settlement. But I want everybody to know that was last year. With the budget we just passed, we got $85 million left in that, out of that almost $400 million that we spread out over the last 3 years. One-time money. We're not going to get that again, and we had to use that to fulfill the requirements of the settlement with the Southern Poverty Law Center and the feds on the prison systems, the mental health case.
Right.
And that 85 million is going to go mostly to personnel and facilities changes at the prisons. Again, that money will go away. So even though we had good growth in our revenue stream last year, or this year that we're projecting this year, but last year the growth was almost 4%. We're projecting pretty close to the same in this budget we just passed for general fund. And but after that, after this one, we're back to we're going to start off probably 100 million behind to try to figure out where it's coming from.
You have to go from there, huh?
Because that one-time money is done.
Well, if a person, one of our viewers, and we encourage our viewers to reach out to the candidates, how would a viewer reach out to you, Mike Holmes, and find out what's going on?
Well, my email address is open to the public. It's mike.holmes@alhouse.gov.
Okay.
G-O-V, mike.holmes@alhouse.gov.
Okay, and we're going to super that on the screen.
Okay, great.
And obviously, you're going to answer the questions.
Well, I absolutely will.
Yeah.
I have a policy. If I can't take the call or get to the email immediately, I will do it within 24 hours.
And you're good, because anytime I've called, it's happened.
I make it a practice. I don't go to bed at night unless all those are done.
Great. Well, best of luck as you move forward. And of course, remember this, the election's right around the corner, the first Tuesday in June. I believe it's June the 5th. And do your homework, find out about the candidates. Importantly, go out and vote. It's not only your right, it's your obligation. We'll be right back right after this.